This state today we want to look at build up ahead of the local Edman election where the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone ECSL will conduct on the 20th of October. So we'll get barely a month to go. Across the western area rural, this election will take place, and it's about over 121 villages where ECSL get for conduct this local Edman election across the western area rural. Well, for talk on this, I get it to me, Raymond George, where the Director of Communications at the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone ECSL. Raymond, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, viewers.
Okay.
Out there.
Yes, and we also expect Abdul Karim Will in the National Publicity Secretary or spokesperson for the Office of National Security Awareness for Council on Security Matters. As yesterday we see one ugly situation where happened at the central part of Freetown, also a young man with a call with popular name Big Fish being taken now one police officer and open fire now the central part of Freetown, but then they end up for shoot him. One of the military officers will be there and end up for shoot him. So we're going to talk about security because it's very important as this time after the international body be Sierra as the most peaceful country inside West Africa after the June 24 multi-tier elections. But last time with you, Raymond George from ECSL, you have to give a rundown with regards to a build-up towards this election. What's only happened so far in terms of preparation to the Edman election at the Western Rural district?
Okay, thank you very much, David. Now, this election, we call it the deferred election. When I say deferred election, it simply means say, for the Oram, first, early part of this year, but we're not going to get the register ready. So we've been deferred to October. The commission been deferred to October. Now, not a new election, we don't conduct them, and now, one of the 6 elections that we see conduct inside this electoral cycle. We don't do the paramount chief members of parliament elections. We don't do the presidential election. We don't do parliamentary elections. We don't do mayor and chairperson elections. We don't do councillor elections then. So this is not the last election of the cycle. We may say, now one day we've been tap. Now Western area rural district now then qualify for take part in this election because now then they get village heads. Well, me not care for say village head man because it will tell like na man no more.
I know.
They contest in the election. Woman safe supposed for qualify for take part in the election, and so now for head the village or towns them where they na Western area rural. You see, Freetown divided into 2. We get Western urban, then we get Western rural. Western rural starts from Levuma, and they take out from Levuma yanda, also then Sansan Loriden. They that small water side, we go down at the beach, na daily boundary day. Little distance from that, we see them put one sign board there, they say welcome to Western rural district. Well, from there, they take along the coast, along the Atlantic Ocean now, take go round, take reach Kent. You go Banana Island, Dublin and Wickett, round Mesmil Island, the entire island. You come back to Mama Beach, come to Tumbo, go right around to Songo Colony. Then you come up the Tomlinson High School, the road, that road there. You come to the toll point, that second toll gate. Now there the boundary there, you turn now come inside to Newton, to Waterloo. Then you come down to Joy, Anga, come up to Orugu Bridge. Orugu Bridge is the boundary on that side between urban, Western urban and Western rural. So you go mountain, towards the mountain now, follow that water side. You get Motem, you get Mongigba, you get Leicester, Charlotte, Gloucester, Regent. Go down to Fabe College. That bridge, when they call Bam Road, you pass this small, you will see Leicester Road. Now the boundary then there again, that side there, between Western urban and Western rural. So you go up that mountain there, onto Maranatha Junction, also you get the boundary between Hill Station and Regent. then you go down the valley. That valley there will lead you onto the stream where you go Boss na Levuma. That stream there, all that side there now, right to those side will be beginning once I start first to Levuma there na the boundary that one day.
Okay.
So all who that register, now that place the 2022 will get that voter registration, now then qualify for vote on this election. Because not to associate to new election, a continuation of the 6th election that we see they conduct this cycle. So now that register they now they use. So if you name money in the register, it means you not get for take part in that election day. Not a fresh registration. So where they did, we've been cognizant of the fact. Say some village, not all the village they also been get center. So village day, we've been just create center in the village with the next to them. So lots of people that be come out now that in village day, then go register in another village. And this now village specific election, you have to vote for the man at the village where you tap. Not to vote for the man or other person in your village. So we come back, we will create a field during the registration. Say man for enter in village where you tap. So man in enter your so other man you say go register and they put as in village. We'll find out say the address is them. You know, because statistics say a little bit of April for do the boundaries then, the village boundary there. Find out say so address day where they give, then the village where they go put them, not today if it's supposed for day. So that make the commission decide say Thursday 21, when have been yesterday, to Monday the 25th of September, we go get what we call confirmation and placement. When we say confirmation, because you know say we generate the register by village, a possible say something your address not call for the village, so your name go not left out in that village day. So man a name go did it. So you go confirm if you name did it, so that on polling day you know who side you for go vote. Then we say placement, because if you name fall in a different village, then get for make sure say they can put you in the correct village where you supposed for day. So you tap.
Then as long as you register,
as long as you register, you did it.
Okay.
You see, so now that process then in the on now.
But the process, like you say, starts on Thursday and in the end on Monday. But if you say 5 days enough for get everybody in a proper placements, for fitting for vote on that day.
Well, you see that the process ECSL not to require a lot of time.
Okay.
Now just if they turn out. Because for confirmation, you just go, you give your name, or you give your ID card, then we put your ID card number, your details go appear. Then you're going to say, yes, okay, this center, the machine we did it, my name did it. So there I will come back on polling day for count votes. It don't done. Placements, if they go there, you tell them, say, me, I'm not able to register at this village or another village there I register. So when they go there, then we'll take your details. Then you will tell them, say, I also I want for count vote. I also a tap. I also have for vote. They will transfer your name, put another register there.
Okay.
Instead, a quick, a short time. Then you will find out, say, some person in village not being get center. So it's not possible, say, you will register in the house. When they generate the register, you get for candy check. Say, if my name candy, or I need for bring my name, can put on the as way of placement. The process has very short time, and I make we target weekend. Because if you take like a Thursday yesterday, it turned out to be low. We still appeal to people in Sina for come a day. But Friday today, you off early, you can pass day. The center they open from 7 in the morning, and they take 5 o'clock na net, even time. Then Saturday, you know the work. All of Saturday, the center will still open. On Sunday, you come out church, you can still pass day. You go register. You go confirm or you do placement. And then Monday back day. However, now that 5 days day, now we get a schedule because the time short.
Yeah.
You know, we get for do other things, we get for do nomination and other activities and get for come up. So that make we appeal to them, say, dear, make use of these 5 days we don't open. So make them go and let them do the work.
And the understanding for let people understand the context as which you for go and go do verification process also very important. Then community people and they sometimes they can find it very difficult, for understand the process and procedures. It's good that ECSL decide for create the platform, encourage them for come back and do their verification or placement or outside the one for vote. But generally, I want to talk about the process in a way we are in we know like how the June 24 election been tallied. The polling center, some places are not really close, and you have to move from 1-2 place. You go now the center outside you're supposed to vote. But in this case, how the center get for tallied? Is it that get for be very accessible? We are in you south side you get access to them at a given point. You don't need for work and move far, because of them few issues that day.
Okay, we take all that into consideration because, as I tell you, we get 121 villages. We get 174 centers. We mean say every village gets at least one center. Not a situation where you can't come out, you go on a far place. Like the village now, I did the center there. So it is very close to you. You can go there and you spend small time. If you vote ID card, I tell you, they spend 5 or 3 minutes this. Because the input your number, the VVK, they display details straight. Then you confirm. You come out today. If you go in new placement, as you go, then search, then see your details, then place you at the center, you fill form, you thumbprint or you sign them, you come out. You see, so it's the village, the center, the village now. Every village gets at least a center.
We know how many people would expect for votes or register at that place there?
Well, the population will be there actually, but I don't give the population now, but I can tell you, see, we get statistics of the number we be registered in our western rural.
Okay.
Every village, we get the population we would expect for the day. Like for example, if you take like DPI Water, about 10,013 people would expect for good day. The highest number we get now, I think now Waterloo. Also we get 36,000 people then. We get Godrich, we get 30,935. And then we expect for come at the center. So now that make we say every village we get one center, then we get up to 174 centers. We will use for conduct the elections. Of course, the number of stations then we will come out with them based on the turnout we would expect, because say we get standard. Say every station we get at least 300. Then anywhere we go above 300, but reach 400, we can manage at the third. Okay. But if we go above 400, we'll get to open another station for that other number there. Okay. And then you will find out we get villages then the need for go through this confirmation and placement, because after we don't generate the details, we find out the number that appear in the village is small. Not that the population not did it, but sometimes they not be put in villages them. They can now meet in I don't care. Our then I don't care get 3 sections. You get the I don't care village, you get New Jersey, then you get Angola town. Now when they open the first phase, the crowd, some man left Angola town, they go register in Ogu farm. You see, and find it's like what you do then class prefect. Midday class 3, you day class 5, then midday go vote for prefect in a young class.
I know.
Not to me, the prefect not for govern me, then go vote there. And so we know let possible vote for a man, we know to him, and they can govern. So for vote, now village specific, vote outside you, no say na dey you for vote. So that make we encourage them and say, okay, come now, you get more centers, you get center where they're very close to you now, the village with you, and can confirm and do your placement day, so that you get able to vote on election day. Because if we take statistics, where we will look at the display now, which we able to generate, like one village where I give example now, Mabuni na within Koya, there are 8 people in there, the register, 8. And the village big, not 8 people in Godede actually. So with the need for calm now, because if you say 8 possible, then almost possible. If you get 1 person with the contest, you need 3 people with the can nominate. You don't need for conduct election.
Of course.
You see, so for let the election go on, let things go right. We one may they come out and be part of the process, and you will find out then they, but the name them go don't do in another village. We through default. So they don't go register on the other side, but you want to give them the chance. If you tap now Western Urban out of that boundary you alone describe, you're not qualified. If you register a Freetown, like Buxton or you register na Christchurch School or Christchurch Center, you not qualify. Now only the one that we register
at the south
at the side Western Area Rural District 2022 that voter registration. You see, like you also they look at one other tongue we then call my boy Kando. Instead Nakoya Ide. Now one great person in that register. You see, so we need to fend them. Outside the day, we'll pull them, they can put them so that we will get healthy competition. We will get the actual population of other day for vote in that village day, so that when time reach 28 October, they will come out and vote for other they want for make them be the village head. It can be man, it can be woman.
All right, I'll come back to Raymond, because the area of security is very important. I know the inside and out it can look like, because, just like presidency election, that's why as well, let me put it on the inside, the joke with the man or the woman. I know. It's man or woman election, because naturally, then people they believe, say they want in the government. So no matter how the IB, they always want, forget the young people and say for be part of her. I'll come back to you in Raymond George, the Director of Communications, now the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, ECSL, and we'll talk about build up ahead of the 8-man or 8-woman election, now the Western Rural District, Usai, then get about over 120 villages them we get for participating to this election. And the election will take place on the 28th of October, so we'll get less than 1 month to go. And ECSL they call on the one who they live in community and they go and do the verification and ensure see them and placement. If you did at this particular village, you register but not try to put a vote for you a man or a woman, then the south side is supposed to vote. ECSL go ensure say then place you there and you get the opportunity for vote for the person where you have to vote for this particular 8-man or 8-woman election, where will take place now the 28th of October. Now the Western Rural District inside Freetown. But I'll come back to Raymond for can talk on issues surrounding security and other updates with regards to the election. But I'll come to Abdul Karim Will from Office of National Security. Will, welcome to the show of this day.
Thank you, Remy. Good afternoon, viewers.
All right. And yesterday, almost the country's capital city, went for turn to other team, and Musaiwa young man, along the life of boosting streets, being take gun at one police officer, one police woman, and he began for injured men and pull the gun and start for far up the air. Well, and how the situation will look like at the end, because now be security concern, 1 minute your officer will be there around, they begin for use the tactics and get undone and able for calling down the situation. But the police put out the press release yesterday with regards to the situation. But as we speak, with now the current situation, link up to the press release, the police be pulled yesterday after the incident happened.
Thank you very much, Remy and Fambulem. We please for inform the public say that situation will be brought under total control. Almost immediately after that brave military officer take action on that person, they will be pose a threat to national security. We put the situation under control. Thankfully, unable to cause any collateral damage. Somebody get injured in the process, they respond to treatment. We initial information don't indicate say not a life-threatening wound. But the public for be relieved that as a sector we will for respond instinctively, because we didn't happen so yesterday. It's not common as alone, but I think the way they happen across the world. But because of the fact say it's not common to we, you see the reason where big people and they raise a whole lot of concerns. We clearly understandable. But for let a civilian get the mind for take gun a police hand and begin for even fire a ram. One way very, very much on that, it's so strange that, but we respond yesterday, supposed to send a message that nobody now go take the law into your hands and go free. Every action somebody take, you get for realizing, you get counter actions. And well, like I say, the public need for be assured for go about the normal business and for trust as a sector we remain cohesive We remain alert, we remain fully committed for protect every well-meaning Sierra Leonean. And this promise will be made even in the period leading to the elections. Don't forget, see, before the June 24th elections, some people are doubtful. They give the impression, say, Salon will go for burst into flames, trouble will go for there, and so on and so forth. Maybe that are the easy way make you see all over the world people can for monitor the elections. But thankfully, there could be promise. The people of Sierra Leone, the international community, will deliver on that mandate professionally, even though we get challenges here and there. But what's important is that we'll be able for largely provide the enabling environment for everybody who for do in business, do them without any fear or favor. We can always say the country relatively peaceful, and some people in Kiwan for unpack that kind explanation there. The reality is that absolute peace not there anywhere in the world. You will get challenges. But what's important is your ability as a people, as a country, and the structures for respond to the challenges and effectively. After the elections in 2018, we don't get numerous threats, numerous security challenges, numerous social challenges, numerous challenges related to politics and that kind of thing, including economic or even health challenges. But in all of this, we don't come out strong as a people for respond to the challenges and that's not the reason that sure we make the world be the rate countries across the world in terms of the safety and security. Salon meaning number 47th in the world, several countries in the world. Now Africa is the third. Mm-hmm. Now West Africa is the number one most peaceful country in the world. You don't appreciate that day much if you didn't Salon, and especially so if you know they follow world events waiting they happen in other parts of the world, until you go and see really waiting they happen in other places before you appreciate say we don't make a lot of strides for ensure that what we only now need for do as a people and for continue for consolidate all of the efforts that we don't make, whether na development efforts, whether na with democratic credentials, and so on and so forth. Because that is important for push forward with development aspirations. As a country, we don't suffer a lot from the war to the numerous emergency challenges. I think say we need now for focus on development rather than beginning for continue for do things that really undermine the peace and progress of the country. Social media don't stand out for being the greatest threat to the national security of Sierra Leone. You find out say even after the election or before the elections, all of the threats in terms of spreading misinformation about the functions of ECSL, about the functions of other people, all emanate from social media misinformation. Largely all of them. I mean, wrong thing and a lie. People who just want for sponge hole onto the good effort of people in the and so on and so forth. But they can say we don't able for sail through. And we continue for promise the people of Sierra Leone. As long as we remain law abiding, we remain committed. Yesterday, now one of them kind examples that we will always have for CITA. The military officer we can respond at that scene day. You know, been there at the scene, but it come instinctively. You know, say you get a responsibility, part of the training we will provide for security sector officials, so that if you see crime they occur in a place, whether or not you place of deployment, as long as you get the disposition, you for take action. So you take action and save the day.
And that's a very crucial thing. Most people they say this about proper collaboration, and we don't talk about how the security sector for collaborate. We don't see several joint meetings, you know, within the security sector, and that is seemed to be fruitful. And the display yesterday with that, like you mentioned, the military officer not to be seen, but because he thinks saying a responsibility as somebody for defend the country and a good other intervention and the rescue the scene. But then issues anyway surrounding security issue. How police the security sector they address the situation in the way in you know, somebody go just grab wake now one morning decide for forfeit police and pull the gun iron and cause something bad past that. But with that responding and the kind of response we get now across the country and social media shows say people really appreciate that kind, response from the security sector, and they show clearly that people they follow up. And I see a lot of people, don't they respond positively with what happened. Say if not to be their intervention or proper collaboration within the security sector, that issue they for be escalate, wherein if we turn something else where people not for be even know who side for be start from.
So Remy, it's sad that that thing happened yesterday, because even though collateral damage not occur, but it sent a lot of shockwaves in the minds of several people. Not only people who be there within that area, but people who be outside of the country, Freetown and other parts of Sierra Leone, because it's traumatizing for the officer who will be involved, or even the police or the soldier masses if we can confront. Now they confront so. One-on-one, face-to-face death. But waiting this even for do for we.
I understand say they even shoot the police.
Yeah, he shoot at them. He shoot at the military officer. The military officer actually engaged him extensively and cautioned him for let it drop the gun. Instead, he instruct the military officer for let it drop his gun, and he actually shoot at him. But for the professionalism and the tactics of the trained officer, as against he will not trained, able for put them down and quell that situation. It gives you the opportunity for let the public able for assess way. For assess say, we get people and we well-meaning. We get officers then we can take action whose side is required for be taken. Because imagine if that military officer not been come to that scene, or no officer no did it at all after he don't take that gun from that female police officer. He target a victim. You see a woman will be performing duty and that kind of thing. They begin for shoot at people sporadically. Now loaded magazine don't cause a lot of death. A lot of death for me getting by now. But we also thankful that the public able to appreciate that kind of intervention there. And now this, we can always say, it's important for let the public collaborate to efforts. Because the security they provide now for and on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, most often putting we own interest at stake, putting even our own lives on the firing line, like the soldier man do yesterday. So if the public continue for cooperate with we, provide information, support with activities, imagine if maybe that kind understanding will be done in the public. Because somebody don't die now, people even can't fall on the military officer and begin for do things away with them. But rather than cheer them up, they see what happen. Even though social media over the period don't cause a lot of damage onto the country in security, but at the same time, in yesterday's situation, it give you the opportunity for law we able to explain the issue like how it happened. Because it happened like a congested place where people can get access to technological devices and video, record them. They not only take pictures, they video record them, they see the scene, they see the standoff, how the police officer, the military officer professionally engaged with this errand, because the man don't go reward, we just fire at random, and by virtue of in volume, if I continue to do that kind of shooting spree, and we might not even know who said it be the head for. Also, we go and make statements as they go along. So, but we're thankful that we're able to overcome that one day. This will for serve as a lesson to other Sierra Leoneans. We get they kind similar intentions and they for letting desist from that one day. The law very clear on issues of that nature. No less a legislation than the Constitution, the grand norm of Sierra Leone. Section 16, subsection 2 of them say, if somebody poses a legitimate threat to national security, that person being a legitimate target for security sector institutions. So that big fish, we don't identify him for one for the Aliyu, popularly known as big fish, now be a legitimate target because he now be possible for take the lives of so many other innocent people will not get any reason for suffer on account of the actions. And besides, even forget the infantry, for take gun as a civilian from a police officer for grab him from behind, then in a criminality of the highest order. So thankfully, like I say, apart from that, woman we get injury, no other thing happen apart from he will suffer on account of inactions. But the actions and they are not going for preemptive investigations, but by the provisions of the law, it's justified because now the action will prevent so many other deaths or so many other problems so for that happen. If you're very close to very close to police headquarters, a lot of offices and banks and and that kind of thing. Who knows if I just go into one of them banks and cause trouble.
And I think that will be the fear for most people, you know, some eyewitness the way will be talked to, now be the biggest fear that, because imagine you decide for one going to a bank, you know, going to a bank in all, you know, we are in, we don't see armless people in another place, people go for good take their money, then it starts for the other things around, you know, how done it for me be, you know, by now, inside salon. But it's good that the security sector will respond promptly and will for calm down the situation. But that within that 10-15 minutes, that place will be really deadly for most people not apply to that side. Even some eyewitness say at that scene when he take the gun from the police officer and you know, the influence them, you know, is a young guy, so believe for talk but the guy will be talk to, then we decide for gonna go on. They say they'll be very lucky they're gonna go on and they don't flat because they think say their life be there at stake. So at that moment they just move away from them and start to go and file. But what in the security sector they do towards that now in preventing such situation not for call again now the country. And most people say the first time and the response from the security sector is swift and proactive and then commend the security sector for that. But are we able to prevent that? You don't know for happen, you know, within the country.
Without any prejudice to what happened yesterday, we go continue for engage with officers when they carry arms on the need for let them be very, very much watchful. Because this thing will don't happen, so don't send a clear message that we go get people who get the tendency for do things and we're very, very much odd. And like I say, even though we're not going to see out of the person your negligence that it happen, because if you look at the volume of the person we do that one day, even if not be man we hold that gun day, maybe if your attention not day to ram, you know, not to possibly we want to do bad, it will still succeed for jog the because I grab him, I snatch him away from him. Not to like saying a professionally can't this and that kind of thing. We will continue for engage members of the public because we think say public education now one is very, very much key, very critical to national security. For invite also opinion leaders or moral guarantors on the need for let them make their voices heard when it matters most. Not for when things don't go wrong. We begin for fan people for scapegoat or for blame. Because we can always say that real interventions can only be informed by the occurrence or existence of events. So let we not allow things to degenerate, we will require our intervention. Because, I mean, we get a responsibility. If things go wrong, we get for intervene. If we not do so, we go to omit in with duties. We go to omit on with responsibilities. And that in itself, that the service to country, that the service to the people, we not in taxpayer money, then they pay for do what we're supposed to do. So we all get collective responsibility. And for also call on members of the public that information they receive from whatever angle, but particularly social media, let them make conscious efforts for shift around. Let them compare out other sources of information. They not just bank on one source, believe in Dande as Bible or Quran, and go into execution because it gets implications. By law, if person take action, anything will come out of them, be responsible for their actions and so you're not going to be excused for saying this person called me on social media for I can't do this and therefore then I ask the way for me for assess me and I can't do. No, now you take the action. No matter who that tell you or from which source you get that information, then you get to take responsibility of the action. So we all collectively we get a responsibility. Part of the strategy now for reach out to the people using the channels we accustomed to most. You notice people mostly now elite groups watch television, that they listen to radio and that kind of thing. The other one them na bush radio they rely on this person talk or you don't see an Android phone whether not true and that kind of thing. Especially so if you come out from the source where it trusts. they make any effort again for cross-check with other with them. And that will do in elections. We appreciate the introduction of the I-Verify system because then it will help a lot for diffuse some of the lies, the tensions so people will be out for create using social media platforms. So the public therefore make conscious efforts, whatever information we receive. I mean, social media misinformation or misuse, it will come from anybody. It can be the most trusted person. It can be the most religious person, with all respect. It can be the most respected person in your community. Mostly, some people really tend for misuse social media, they will do it for a purpose. They will do it for their own personal benefit, personal gains. And so, it will give convincing explanation. It will give the impression that this source, now authentic source. Any information that they give for telling you, now that is the new kind of coinage when they use. Breaking news, authentic, confirmed source. As news and they give for good that kind of way, cross-check them. If somebody goes to this a confirmed source from ECSL, go to ECSL person post them, they try to reach out. Then you confirm them, say, hey, this one, they say that then they when you don't get out from the horse's mouth, they can say, then you will be assured, saying that kind of thing. Especially so, their information, the way they call people and for go execute some directives. If somebody tell me now, say, go to AYV and go dance there, I want to know if I saw the AYV management actually don't tell. I want for cross-check from you. And so that I don't can dance and say me like Chris, man, but I even can't arrest you for being a nuisance. So you get a responsibility. Like we say, we were there in public spaces, we owe a duty onto the average people. We trust we they follow we believe in we. Because if we tell them the thing away good, fine for the country. If we tell them the thing away wrong, it will be bad for we all. Because every life na salon very, very much important. If you do things for send people into harm's way, if they do so with impunity because you have to use the outcomes of their events and day for further your agenda, then you are being dishonest, you are being an unpatriotic citizen, it cause problem for not only the generations, but generations yet unborn. Like I say, law enforcement, get a responsibility. And that responsibility there is sacrosanct, it's sacred, it's there in the Constitution. If we don't do any public for begin for, so what do we do, what they do, what police they do, and that kind of thing. But when we go into action, we can find out, say, some people will get opportunity and get all of the opportunity for make their voices heard. They know they may come. Now we talk, for example, on the issues of the so-called demonstrations. I call them so-called demonstrations because all of them call them. We don't make the rounds over the period, not to demonstrations, not to calls for demonstrations, rather than calls for riots, calls for violence, calls for subversion of the state, or calls for insurrection. Because you don't need to be a rocket scientist for understand when somebody call you say tomorrow or next tomorrow they can't do this kind of thing. Now suicide. The way they do if you don't follow, we will kill you. If you don't join, we will burn him on we will this and that kind of thing. I mean, not only a mad person or mad institution will allow you for them you go and execute that kind of thing. But because most of the people where they make them kind demands, where they make them kind calls and people already out of the country. The reality that if we get for them at the ground for execute them thing they call for. None of them, their relatives are not going to be involved. We were there when a young man and young woman they will get the youthful exuberance for going to action, then we could engage them. The security sector leadership make them their duty, their responsibility in the midst of all of their busy schedule. Then they go right at communities using non-conventional methods. Before the elections, the National Security Coordinator, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, no, they're not left and anybody. We all done at treats, they talk to people and they host them, now marketplaces, now parks, now different parts. Across the western area, rural and urban community. Because actually in a day, people and get the tendency for going into actions where we actually put them into harm's way. They will go to people and talk to them. And they call several meetings there's almost on a daily or hourly basis. People they meet with different groupings, just so that they will take people along with interventions. And we also allow them to make their own contributions so that we do our own part, they say play their own part, 50-50 we meet together, we provide and maximize the security of the country. We don't enjoy the support of so many civil society organizations, but we equally concerned that some other civil society organizations, when you tell matter for let them talk, they know they talk. Then they only wait till things don't go bad, then they begin for pick bones from 1990. Yes, that is understanding because I'm thinking you would say, now they don't space down it. But when they sort of allege or implicate security sector interventions in a way where there's substance, you do several damage. One, you dampen the spirit of the officers the way they take action. Secondly, you undermine national security interventions. But even worse, now the fact say you embolden lawbreakers for go into lawlessness and indiscipline. And when that happen, now chaotic society we go get. Imagine in all of them things that happen. So in the security sector institutions, the security forces, they not even they in charge, they don't take charge. If for them they talk a different thing altogether. And like we say, now a sacred responsibility on we own part for protect every law-abiding citizen, for providing enabling environment. We say, without one go sell and market, go sell, nobody know about them. Without one go cheat, go cheat. Without one go ride in motorcar, go ride them. Without one can work in the office, he do it without any fear or favor. That one day now will continue for do because now that one day now is supposed to happen in every decent society.
Okay, I'll come back to Karim Will and I'll come to Raymond. And the process is still very important. So how the process get for carry on and you know, and after this first phase, this primary you know, events done and waiting next we expect for C-form build up towards election, and also you want for 1 month a bit about security. I know we still get that joint collaboration. The carry the security sector be displayed during the June 24 election in terms of providing security. We obviously have us here, but are there any you know, discussion ahead of that in creating the awareness? People understand that this is not a threat. Now election, go vote and come back and do normal business.
Okay, thank you, David. The process, the carry on, you know, election, not to we not just the polling day. You get a lot of activities where they unfold along the line because the timeline is very clear. Sorry, the 25th, the confirmation and placements go end. Then around the 27th, they consolidate that register. Make sure we come out with a final register. By the 1st of October, if we don't get the register for conduct the elections. Then you go also the 4th of October, we start the nomination. Because we need candidates then, so that 10 day you will come. And this one, now a non-partisan election, political party, no the contest.
Okay.
Everybody where they come out for contest, they contest as an individual. But you get criteria where they within the law. You know, anything they do for election are the law. Because you get for, first of all, be a citizen, and you name for the register for the village where you want for contest. If you name the na like Hastings, they are going contest na Waterloo, it's not possible. You name for the register for Hastings village. Then you forget 3 people they can nominate you. And the 3, then self-them name them for day na that register day. So that make they talk to people then, when they beg them, say, when come, especially in villages then we na 4 person, day na the register na 7 people and did na 10, 8 people and did you know, we want me to come so that we'll get people who will contest the elections and they'll be able to qualify for good day. So apart from that one day, the law again say they're not forbid less than 30 years of age. So you see, you register at 18, but you need for the whole 30 years before you qualify. So any man or woman who name that register day for the village, we all 30 years on the day for polling, then you qualify for contest. For contest. At 18 years you vote because the law say universal adult suffrage. 18 years and above you vote. Then if you don't tap on that village day for not less than 5 years. If you not did it, if they just move go there, you not qualify. Even though you got old 30 years, you name it at the register, you're not citizen of Sierra Leone. No. If you don't did it for not less than 5 years. Then also you get for make sure so you don't pay all your taxes then and all the rates then. If you get also rate if you don't pay them. If you're above the age for pay local tax, if you don't pay them, you count the local tax receipts and all. Right? So that they qualify you for contest. But for let you go do the nomination from the 4th of October to the 7th of October, 5 different venues then. Now we call zone the entire 121 villages then into 5 zones. And we will get stakeholders meeting at the zones, and we will keep meeting for each zone. So now everybody will want for contest, or every stakeholder know whose zone it is. We will soon announce outside the nomination centers and go open. They will go there. It starts 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock evening time. Because the law now say for the nomination between the hours and day. So on the last day, when at the 7th of October, 4 o'clock, anybody come after that 10 day, they will not late for contest. You know, people contest again. But you will still qualify for go vote. Then you know say after that nomination, we get objection.
Yeah.
Because of if possibly they don't meet up then criteria or announce so, you get for go object. You object to them, and the commission will get for sit down upon objection in there. And it not be say will they get any specific time, but as the person go through nomination, then they put his name up.
Okay.
So you can go there, go watch, so that if you see this person, you know say this person not tap at the village it for 5 years, you get proof, you come with them, and we sit on that case day. But on the 7th, the objection and they go end. Then the commission goes sit down, or they take decision on all the one, and they will get a stakeholders meeting. That meeting day, the commission can normally declare the campaign period open. At that meeting day, we can give out days for letting campaign. So again, I say not to party election, which means not to give party symbol. The commission gets over 100 symbol them with every village. If now before the contest, other force come, you get shovel, you get hoe, you get cutlass, you get hat, handshake, fish. You dey pick one. So if me say me don't come before you yourself one contest, but me go early, I don't choose fish. When you yourself come, you will choose otherwise, no choose fish again. So let's see what they use, and a day will they give out, so that when will they give campaign days out, we will tell you say that the fish for the out today on the hat, on the shovel, and so put the candidate name them by them. So the campaign period will start on the 13th of October, and it will end on the 26th of October. So that, you know, say we get 1 day, with a cooling off day. So 27 will be cooling off day, then election day will be on the 28th of October. The law again say, if you pay nomination fees. That nomination fee, they not to ECSL, the collector, the collector, but not to really use them, and they go into the consolidated fund. So you can go direct to NRE or any bank of Salon. You pay the money, they count, they pay in slip. We can accept them. We'll give you a receipt. But if you're not able to go there, you will come during the nomination time. We'll collect that on behalf of the government. Then we can give you a receipt. Then we'll pay them later to the funds, related fund. Now, in terms of the security collaboration.
So the how much for the nomination?
Well, also, I forget that side. The law say, it say for half of the minimum wage, na Salon. Minimum wage, government do 800 to 800. 800, yeah. So then go pay for half of them, 400. 400,000. So either you pay 400,000 old loans, or you pay 400 new loans. Then we go allow you for go through the process. But it's a non-refundable fee. Okay. You will know, you'll also, you're not going to forget the money back. So you know, okay, say, well, if even you withdraw from the election before the day for polling, you still not entitled to forget that money.
As long as you don't pay.
As long as you don't pay, you don't give receipt. It's non-refundable. Okay. You will find out, say, that stakeholders meeting, not to a commission no more. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. Now then the ministry will supervise all local councils. Yeah. And these village head elections fall under the local council elections. And directly, they will do the supervision of the Western Area Rural District Council. So that make we not do anything we do them alone. And we all collaborate together. ONS safe will go for deep on the security, the stakeholders meeting. Because when you draw up campaign calendar, you get code of campaign ethics who they give to them, like any other election. So that when you know if you violate them, the police day. Yeah. The ONS go daily for this supervision. When you do for campaign, you get for go to the police and inform them. Say that this activity are going for depend. So not just they do them alone. The security sector, they all day, everybody they in charge. In terms of preparedness, Yes, we don't come out to the timeline, we don't go out, we don't extract, we don't we do the register, we do the confirmation now. We do all the procurement process because so we go for print ballot paper.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we don't advertise. The materials, so we just conduct elections. We use 11,832 stations there across the country. So materials and they will be retrieved. They pack and sort them out now for use one, we'll be able for use back. And this one we'll be able for, we'll not get, we'll be able for putting back for purchase them. So the adverts and they out now, we don't send out the newspapers them. And with the bidders, the bid will be able for sit down and look at and evaluate the bid and then make recommendations. Then NPP will come watch them, then we'll actually give out the contract for printing. So every other thing they in place. The exercise itself will actually be a very peaceful one as we expect. We know in the past, village Edman election can be very troublesome, dynamic. This time around, we recruit staff them will be no say yes. When they will do the work and do them effectively, we don't get a situation where the community will get now where some staff can go, they say, a situation is ready to go work again. Once solid people then we will ensure say when we go out on polling day, the election, everybody will be transparent. We don't open up now, we tell them, anybody who want for observe the elections, including media houses, the accreditation process is not open.
Okay. You
can go, you apply now, you fill the necessary requirements, then we can give you a letter for accredit you, we give you card, ID card we can give out. So that we want people to actually be part of the process and make it as transparent as possible. Okay. So that we will get the 121 village heads them, we will take up the duty and work with the Ward C. What's the name of the Rural District Council?
Okay, I'll come back to you for look around, but we generally, and also you have to rub more into the security of the village heads election because that's very important as well. And we see the kind of level of professionalism where the security sector provide the June 24 months it's election. Even people who vote safe, they don't even know say election in the country because after vote, some man be then in corner, relax, some man go to market, go buy anything and come back. And even want to the whole night, we see that kind collaboration there. So we expect that, for happen in this local, village ban of Duma election will take place in the Western Rural District. And generally, you want to talk about security as we round up.
Well, certainly, yes. The collaboration between me and NEC now one way unending. That married day, the scatter. We say ECSL day, we always did it.
I know.
So thank you, they prepare the ground ahead of. And I'm making all of the engagement to be part of them, just so that we secure the ground for them. Because no election not in this country is small. It will be village or hot elections. People in a different do everything because some people they invest everything, emotions, finances, and even in time. And so for them kind of people they need to be given the opportunity for them realize what they want as long as they know within the provisions of the law. Although some people want to do things already outside of the law. Now, then kind of people they call on the need for let them see how they go cooperate with law enforcement because even for let you participate in elections, that's a testament to the fact that you're a recognized stakeholder. In elections, you don't always get for win. The fact that they don't contest, if you don't win, somebody get for win. If you win, some other person get for loss. So we get for understand that one.